What's happening, everybody in YouTube, Star Wars, Spotify, wherever you're listening, whatever it is. What's going on, everybody? Today is an exciting episode. Like, exciting episode because these were some good episodes of the two episodes of Bad Batch and the episodes of The Mandalorian. The only problem is that I have is with the Bad Batch because they left us on a fucked up cliffhanger and we got to wait all the way till next season to find out what happened.
You knew they would.
And everybody, we got to give a lightsaber salute to Tech because Tech went out like a G. He was like, fuck that. I'm not compromising everybody else. It's time to go. And he let himself go. And I think that was very honorable. That was very respectable for him to do that. And that shows how much that he cared about his team. And I think that was one of the best things that I have seen in a long time when it came to Star Wars. Somebody that was willing to sacrifice for the better good of the Galaxy or the team. Because he sacrificed himself in order to make sure that the rest of the team could get away. Now, do I honestly believe he's dead? No. I don't think so. I just have this fucking gut feeling that he's going to come back in next season. They actually found him, rescued him, and you know what I'm saying? The Empire got him now, and they're about to start
experiments on
him, and they just have the glasses.
Dude. Just let the man stay dead.
You know what I'm saying? You know how it is. It's always like that with Star Wars. You think somebody's dead, and then they back. So I don't want to sit back and
We'll get into it.
I don't sit back, but Mandalorian was great. It was overall great, but and then just that cliffhanger at the end. Like, you can't leave somebody on that type of cliffhanger. That was like one of the biggest cliffhangers of all Star Wars history and everything all the books I've ever read, you know what I'm saying, everything, to like be left like, what? And then just be done. And now we ain't gonna find out what's gonna happen until next season. That's just terrible. That was like the worst thing. Like, when that shit happened, I just wanted to go and, go find Dave and just smack the shit out of him. Like, why the hell would you leave us at that point? That was just fucked up. But it's cool. You know what I'm saying? We'll have to see. So, what did you think about these seasons, Garrison? Oh, first, let me just...
we got to get an intro.
CJ and Tori is not here today. Unfortunately, we don't know what's going on because they didn't ever contact us to tell us. I hope everything is all right. I hope they're okay and the kids are okay, because they didn't even message us and let us know what was going on. So hopefully everything is okay. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them on whatever situation it is, because I know it has to be something big if they just didn't show up or message us. Usually they'll at least message us and tell us what's going on, but for whatever situation they was unable to. So I think that just everybody pray for them. Everybody, whatever you do. If you're religious, pray. If you're not religious, wax some wood, or whatever it is that you do. Hey, there's like some freaking some cult people that like hit wood, and that's what they do. I was like listening to a whole episode of Time Suck one time, and that was like their cult thing. They whack wood.
I thought that was like your slang for like
jacking off
or something. Yeah, I was like, wax some wood. I've never heard that before.
Hey, honestly, I was listening to Time Suck. I don't know. It was like so many episodes ago. I can't even remember which one it was, but it was like some cult, and they like hit wood on things, and that's how they got hyped up to do their cult shit. So I was like, really? And he said the same thing, whacking wood. I thought the same thing. Like, damn, these people are jack off. You know what I'm saying? You just got a circle jerk going on. But it wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. They was actually whacking wood.
That's what I thought it meant. I was like, whoa, I haven't heard this one before.
I no, honestly, no pun intended. I wasn't trying to be funny on that one. It just came out like that. So it just happened to be funny, but it wasn't I wasn't meaning to be funny. It's actually a thing. So whatever you guys do, though, definitely thoughts and prayers go out to them. Okay, let's see. Let's go through it. We got Lenny in the chat. Chris is in the chat. Star Wars team leaders in the chat.
We forgot the intro, by the way.
Oh yeah, let's do the intro. Go ahead, do the intro.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Last we will reveal ourselves.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now tuned into Radio. If you only knew the power of gods.
Here it comes.
Let's go.
You are now tuned into Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
And Tori is here. She
They're
showed
not
up during
dead.
the
They're not
intro.
dead.
We was kind of scared because we can't hear you.
How about now?
Okay,
There
now
we
we
go.
can hear you.
Better?
Turn it up just a little bit.
Okay, sweet.
Like they're not dead.
Yeah, I was just telling everybody to
Is that
pray for
better?
y'all because we didn't hear nothing from y'all. And we didn't see nothing in the chat. Like, oh shit, what the hell? Something going on? Like everybody
No.
pray.
CJ is still stuck in hell, as he likes to call it. I love my children, but after today, that's where I'm seeing home is too.
Oh, that's not fun.
Oh no, it was a very hectic morning. The rest of the day was equally as hectic.
Oh, I'm
Living the
sorry.
dream, it sounds like. Just
We
kidding.
kinda
But I'm
had-
here. I'm alive.
Yeah, we were worried because usually, you know, if you guys aren't gonna be late or show up or something like that, you know what I'm saying? At least we get a message in the private chat. We didn't get none. We were over here like, what's going on? All right, let's go
No,
through the
I'm-
chat.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
really quick though, by the way, CJ and I will not be here on Saturday because I 100% did not send this in the group chat because I spaced today. Comic-Con in Boise is this weekend,
Oh
and
yeah, so definitely go to
CJ and
them.
I will be there both days, both Saturday and Sunday. So if you see us, say hey.
Yeah, you definitely gotta go support. Go give a shout out to Lightsaber Radio at Comic-Con. Lenny says, what's up? Chris says, what's up? Star Wars team leader said, I called it with saying the scientist woman, Emerie Karr, would be Omega's older sister when we first heard
Oh,
her voice
yeah.
by the same actress.
Because I
You
remember
did
when
say
we
that.
first
Oh
talked
my
about
God,
that.
you was right. That shit was weird.
Because it was the same voice actress, and it was like, well, this is like, what? Like,
Before we go on that one, I just would like to that little tangent. I would just say that green lizard smelling fucking breath bitch.
You knew she was gonna do that though. We all
I did,
knew that.
but it didn't make it any better.
We all knew
Wait,
that
what?
shit. The Sid
What
snitched
bitch?
on him.
Sid snitched,
oh yeah, I knew
and she
that.
had the
Fucking Sid.
audacity to
Yeah.
look at Wrecker and be like, "Sorry, muscles, by the way."
Yeah,
And then they fucking
I-
walk in like,
yeah.
Yeah, that was
shove
jacked up.
your sorry up your lizard fucking breath green ass.
Dude, like that first
I bet
episode
you
was
smell
kind
like
of
flies.
that first episode was kind of boring. I was sitting there like, all right, what's gonna happen? Like, okay, you guys are talking about you're gonna go find Tech. I mean, you're gonna go find Crosshair. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure this shit out. You know, and I'm like watching it, and I'm like, dude, this is not very because it was very story driven, which I liked, but at the same time, it was like, dude, you guys could have the pacing on this is off because it was kind of
Oh
boring.
yeah.
The pacing
The
was
pacing
real slow.
was very weird. For how much was going on, it was definitely like 'cause
Slow.
it was there was a lot of
Yeah.
shit going on, but it was just very like, all right, like what's going on? Like, let's get there. Let's do something. I don't know.
Then when the second episode started, that's when it really went super nuts.
Picked up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it picked
agreed.
up a lot, and I was like, "Holy crap!" I couldn't turn away from the TV. The damn dog was going out. I was telling him to shut up. He's whining and shit. I gotta go outside. I was like, "Dude, just shut up! Hold up!
Hang on
Be
for a
quiet!
second.
I
Goddamn.
gotta figure out what's gonna happen."
Yeah. I was really glad. Like, this is gonna sound bad, but I'm kind of glad that Tech died. Like, that
You
was-
monster!
no, not like glad, like yeah, fuck Tech, but more like, wow, so they're not invincible. You know
He
what I
was
mean? Like,
my favorite.
but like during this entire show, like I felt like whenever they get into a tight spot, there's no sense of like danger because like they're the Bad Batch. They're not gonna die. Like they're not gonna kill off these characters. You know what I mean? And it just makes everything like not as entertaining because like there's no risk because they can't die. So the fact that he actually died is like, all right, we're getting serious now. It's not just bullshit plot armor the entire time.
all I think about is I think it was Spartacus. Are you not entertained?
I mean, I was like, I'm in agreement with you on that one, Garrison. I was, it made me feel like, okay, is there something going to happen? Is there something going to go on that's going to make me feel like, because it's just, no matter what they did, they got away, and it was like,
right.
Somebody might get shot or, what I'm saying? Somebody might get hurt.
It was nice that they finally raised the stakes.
There was never no real concern about somebody dying. And I thought, honestly, and I've been saying this since the beginning of the bad, I always thought it was going to be Hunter. I thought Hunter would sacrifice himself first to save Omega. And when it was Tech, I was like, what the fuck? Hey, I kind of like the way that the pirate chick, how she was hitting on Tech and he didn't realize.
Terribly.
Like, she was hitting on him so hard, he was just sitting there like...
she was not even that hard on him either.
Okay, what happened? Now we have two Tories.
What the hell?
What?
Kick from studio.
What the hell?
I don't know what happened. But yeah, it was just strange the way that it, like, I didn't really think that it would have been Tech. I always thought it was going to be Hunter. I thought Hunter was going to be the one, and then Hunter would die, and then it would be like Rex or somebody came in and like take over as the leader of the Bad Batch. I just I thought that I kind of had a idea it would be somebody like Rex. Rex would come in and he'd run the Bad Batch, and then it would be something like that. I didn't ever think that it would be Tech there, the one that would die. I just didn't.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, I didn't think that. Like, if you're gonna end the show, I could see Hunter dying. If you're not ending the show, you have to keep Hunter in the show. Like, there's no way around it.
Not me, Caitlin, my sister-in-law, she was talking to her dad. And she came in and she's like, it fills a plot hole. I was like, what fills a plot hole, Manda? What? Because she doesn't watch Bad Batch. She finds it boring. She can't follow it. She does not like Bad Batch.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't watch it. Granted, I haven't forced her to sit down and watch it with me. So, but she's like, no, it for episode 9. And I was like, episode 9 of Bad Batch? What the fuck are you talking? I was like, are you talking about the movie? And she's like, yeah, Dad says that it fills the plot hole. They're using Bad Batch to fill the plot holes with how Palpatine comes back.
Oh yeah. They're using all of their shows right now to try to fill that plot
That's
hole.
what they're doing. And you can tell, Clinton said it, CJ and I were talking a little bit earlier before, he went on, I don't even know what he's doing, probably asleep. He's not really dead. That's why they showed the glasses. Correct. Because if he fell from that, like, high up, it wouldn't just be the glasses would be the only thing that they would find, especially because they were strapped to his damn head.
Yeah. Well, my thought process was this. If he did die, it was because the cart fell on him. Because remember, the cart falls. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, dude, that's the only way he would really die. But if he fell through and that's a gang of trees down there, you're going to hit some trees. And that's going to stop your momentum.
How high that is?
Oh, no, it's going to hurt like a son of a bitch.
You should not survive that.
Dude, come on, man. There was that one guy that jumped out of a plane 10,000 feet up and his parachute didn't open and that dude survived. And he's not even a member of the Bad Batch. You know what I'm saying?
Realistically, that's pretty tough to survive.
I don't know. Well, and it also matters. Like, if he's falling and if that rope gets caught on a tree, because I guarantee that's what'll start off the beginning of next season. If he is not dead, it was like he's falling, the rope gets caught in the tree, because, he got the harness rope that he shots out. It gets caught in a tree. The glasses fall off his face, hit the ground. The thing hits over there, farther away from him or something. And then here goes the Empire running up on him, or he gets away for a little bit and then the Empire catches him. That's kind of how I was guessing. Because I was like, dude, he might be dead. They might have killed him off just because,
I hope they did.
A lot of people were thinking, like, dude, these dudes are not invincible. But at the same time, I just don't. You don't see too many characters, even in like Clone Wars, and you don't see too many main characters die. In Rebels, the only person you seen die was Kanan, and he did the same thing. He sacrificed himself, but there was no, there ain't no surviving that. That whole thing blew up, and Kanan was standing on the top of it.
Okay, so on the Kanan thing, I watched a video. I have not seen Rebels. I've not seen any of Rebels.
Oh,
However, I
man,
did see a
Rebels.
clip. I did see. Well, that's a lie. I've seen a couple episodes because Chopper is awesome. I saw a clip, and I know that Kanan lost his sight, but it was Kanan's death, and it was that scene, and it was like, I love how the Force gave Kanan back his eyesight so he could look at Hera one more time, and I was like, if those two weren't in love, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, of course they was. They kiss in Rebels.
Don't fall on me, please.
Go watch Rebels. I'm telling you, you guys are missing out on so much good information.
Okay, Kyle, you tell me that I gotta watch this, and then you tell me I gotta watch that. Pick one.
Well, okay. One topic at a time, okay? Regarding the topic about how they're just trying to fill plot holes, and it's the problem is it's pretty like obvious that's what they're doing. With every single episode they're doing, it's all about trying to fix the mistakes of the sequels. The problem is I don't think the sequels were good enough to even bother fixing. Even
I don't think so either.
They weren't even good enough to like make me want to.
So if CJ were here, he would tell you to read the books because he's starting to read the books, and the sequels do make sense if you read the books. However, the books were made after the sequels. Nah.
Well, the books fill a lot of the plot holes that are in the sequels that came before that, like, because they have Han and Leia. Their whole relationship, it has Ben when he's younger. There's a lot of different things that happen in the book. The problem is that to me, the books don't match the movies because they added so much more stuff to it that it just makes it feel weird. Like when I listened to all the books, I was like, oh man, this just feels weird. Like, because you guys are trying to explain something that isn't there yet. I can't visualize it because it's just not believable.
Right.
If you get what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to explain it.
That was the problem with the sequels.
I just felt like there wasn't. It just wasn't believable to me. I'm more into tuning to believing something that I see on the screen that explains something, and the Bad Batch does explain a lot of what they're trying to do in order to explain it, and it doesn't seem as bad. Because, like, you got to think about it. If she's Omega's sister, okay, then why aren't they using her? Because there's something that's different about Omega than everybody else. And it falls back into why everybody was saying that Omega was force sensitive. I don't know if she's force sensitive, and I still don't. I'm not one of those people that believe that, but I think there's something within her genes that has to do with.
But she's got the same genes.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean, they could have used a different, because they're creating the clones, and they're using Jango Fett's DNA to make the clones. But that doesn't mean there isn't any gene altercation, and we know there has to be because she's female. So we know that they did some altercations to the gene, and it might be something that has to do with the Force that we just don't know about. They might have added midichlorians, and maybe it worked with her. And it didn't work with her sister, because why aren't they using her sister? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't they just use her DNA and say, screw all this? You know what I'm saying? There's something that's special about Omega. And I think in the third season, they'll let us in on that little secret. That's what kind of sucked. That's what made me so mad about leaving us on this cliffhanger. Yeah. Because that was like my first thought was, why ain't they just using this bitch then? You know what I'm saying?
Team leader does bring that up. She might have been age progression, just like the rest of them were. Omega and Boba Fett weren't.
Yep.
So maybe that's why they're not using her.
There's something along those lines.
Because she's also, as much as she's a female clone, she still could be an altered female clone.
The only problem is, I don't think this season as a whole is good enough to get a lot of people to come back for the next season, unless they're already invested into that story.
I don't know. I just like the Bad Batch. So I'll come back because I like the Bad Batch. Plus, we got to talk about it. But I like the Bad Batch. Even this season, the season wasn't the greatest. I mean, honestly, it wasn't. Compared to season 1, it just was. It didn't. There wasn't enough Empire in it. Like, dude, that's the whole point of the Bad Batch, to explain what's going on with the Empire. And it didn't do that. I mean, I like the fact that Saw Gerrera was in the episodes. I like that they had Tarkin. Cool. I liked so many things of the thing. The only thing I did not like about these 2 episodes was the pacing in the first episode and the cliffhanger they left us on at the end. Like, dude, I don't mind cliffhangers, but to put out something like that detrimental to the whole story, because the first thing that popped in my head was, why ain't they using this bitch? You know what I'm saying? That was the very first thing. As soon as that shit said, went to the end, I was like, oh, why ain't they using this bitch? Why are they chasing Omega for?
Right.
Then I kind of came to the conclusion, well, one thing, Nala Se, they trying to get Nala Se to work for them, so that if they have her, then Nala Se will continue her and give out her information, which is something that they did take from Legends, because in Legends, in the Mandalorian Wars, Boba Fett is looking for Nala Se, because Nala Se, after whatever happened with the Empire, is never explained in Legends books, but Nala Se goes into hiding, and she's the only one she is the true scientist behind the art of cloning. Nobody else really knows how to do it except her, and she goes into hiding. And he's trying to track her down because his body is failing and he needs her to fix it.
Oh, gotcha.
So, you know what I'm saying? He needs her to figure it out. So that came, that's one of those things that kind of put it into perspective for me. Cool. So they need Omega to get Nala Se to do her work. So it kind of, they might not have took it exactly the same, but they used part of that. They used that draw to get her, because she refuses after whatever happens to the Kaminoan, she refuses to do any more cloning, and she's the only one that really knows how to do it. Nobody else really knows how to do it.
Right.
So
if you're done, Kyle.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna run through some chats that's been popping up. I wasn't trying to cut you off for some chats. Go ahead. Okay. Team leader, let's go. Yes, team leader said she wasn't aged as the rest were. Clinton says, I wish all of the seasons of Bad Batch was as good as these 2. All of this season's Bad Batch. Good Lord, sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
He's saying like the whole season was good as these 2.
Season of Bad Batch, just as these,
episodes.
I don't know. Yeah. See, episode 4 and the other Crosshair episode, I would probably put up there.
Yeah.
Them was dope episodes.
I've been keeping track and I have it averaged out, and without these episodes so far, we're sitting around like 5 or 6.
Yeah. Compared to last season, which we rated way higher.
Yeah.
Team leader says it was too much filler in the full season just to cram it all into the last 2.
Definitely.
Darth Carey's just here to say hi before we get into Mando. Lenny says, I feel like she might not be a clone. Maybe she's the female genetic sibling. Clinton, you could watch the first 2 episodes and watch Crosshair episodes, then Pobu episodes and the last 2. Boom, whole season. That actually matters.
Yeah. You could that's a great point. You could very easily like cut out half of this fucking show and nothing would change.
Chris says
Lenny meant chromosome. He said
chromosomes in a female genetic chromosome in Omega. Chris says, I agree that it's tough to get excited about this next season. I feel it's just lazy writing that they'll wait until the last 2 to 3 episodes to introduce the main plot instead of the first 14 episodes. I agree.
That's very lazy. The truth about it.
It's taking your viewers for granted, is what
I just want to say. I called it. They did a Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, basically. basically, because I mean,
And everybody was like, "No, we still have like 4 episodes left." And I was like, "No, they're gonna do a Book of Boba Fett thing where it's gonna be crammed in the last 2 episodes." And what was it?
and in all reality, they crammed it. They really crammed everything into the very last episode. Because, like I said, the first part was just the first episode was the pacing was off, and like I couldn't get comfortable with what was going on. Like, the story was good, but the pacing was so like it sped up, slow down, speed up. Like, well, okay, wait a minute, no, it gave you that weird feeling. Like, you're confusing me, and I know what's going on. I should not be confused, and I know what's going on. Because that it was weird.
I'm confused, but I know what's going on.
Yeah, it just was weird. It's like, have you ever like smoked weed and you're high and everything is going on and you know what's going on, but you're still like, what the fuck is going on? That's kind of how.
That little level of uncertainty. Like, wait, is this actually happening, or is this something that's not happening that I think is
Jesus.
happening?
That's kind of how it feels.
Okay, it's Garrison. It's a real fucking feeling. Okay, you have to like. You're
Garrison
like, yo, am I like,
before.
yeah, am I actually high? Like, am I actually high? Am I feeling this, or is this just like what I think high feels like? Like, it's a whole fucking thing. It's a trip in its own.
All right.
So it was like, that's the kind of how I felt about it. I was like, wait a minute, okay, I understand what you guys are doing, but like, wouldn't there be a better way to do this? Why don't you just wait for them to fly out the atmosphere and shoot the thing on there, clink, and it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you like fly to the planet, break into fucking place, do all this shit just to put a fucking tracker on this dude? You could like just wait till he flies out. You know what I'm saying? Like, cling, just track all of them.
Sense.
You got 6 planets to go to. It was just, I don't know. It just seemed when they were discussing it, I just feel like, why? Why are you doing this? Like, there got to be an easier way to do this. But, yeah.
I just know that
just
Dave
weird.
Filoni is on my shit list currently because he killed Tech. Tech was a sweetheart. He did not deserve that. How goddamn dare you?
That's why he's the one who died, because he didn't deserve it.
Well, I kind of had a feeling
And
that
Omega was so broken. That was her best friend. Like, yeah, she's really good with Hunter. She's like really tight with Wrecker, but that is her best fucking friend. And my heart died a little bit more when Hunter, first of all, I love how parental Hunter has gotten. And my heart died another like little bit inside when Hunter was talking about getting Omega back, and he just like happened to look back and see Lula just sitting there by herself and just we are getting her back.
I kind of wish that when it happened, they would have it would have showed them like holding Omega, like almost tackling her, because like they're holding her hand and she immediately like stops trying, because like when he falls, she like starts running like, no, Tech, no, and they just like grab her hand and she stops.
And that was pretty good.
I think it would have sunk more if they literally had to grab her and like fall down while she
at that point though, Garrison, like, you gotta remember
better.
She's a little girl, and so she might have exuded all of her energy trying to go after Tech.
No. I get that. It's not like a logic thing. I just think it would have hit harder if they would have done that.
And yes, Chris, Tech is alive. However, that's not the point right now.
Well, I knew that something was going to happen to Tech when the fee thing came up, when she was hitting on him and he just was I knew that something was going to happen to Tech, because that draws her in to come with the Bad Batch or come rally the people together to go save them. Because you got to remember, at this point, they're all captured. The only person that's free is the Echo. Everybody else is, well, I mean, the Hunter and Wrecker is kind of, they escape, but they got to go get Tech. So now they got to rally everybody. So Tech is dead, or they think he's dead, and they got to rally everybody to go get Omega. So now they got to get Fee. They got to get the people from the island, planet. They got to get, everybody that they've helped throughout this whole time period. They got to get Rex. They got to get, all the clones. They got to get everybody together to go and get Omega. Because now it's about getting Omega. It's no longer about getting Crosshair. It's about getting Omega. Crosshair getting saved. I think Omega is going to be the one that saves Crosshair.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? Because, and but it's like you left us at this point that now I'm like, dude. And then what happens if they wait a year and a half to bring out the next season? I'm gonna be pissed off. What the hell? Why does it take so long? Like, bring this shit back out. I want to find out what's happening. Which is good on their thing. Build up anticipation. You always want to build up anticipation. You want to leave. Anytime you know that you're going to be continuing something, you want to leave a cliffhanger. But I just kind of sucked on what type of cliffhanger they left us. I'm your sister and then done. Like, screw you, you asshole. Why would you leave us right there? Like, why didn't you use this bitch?
Yeah.
Why? What's going on? Now you left us big ass plot hole. What's going on? Like the giantest plot hole yet as the cliffhanger. Like, I thought Omega was the first female. You know what I'm saying? Now you find out there's other ones.
As good as these episodes are, it was just like we've had all season to like kind of get into this, and I don't know. It was a lazy season overall.
And what the actual season was lazy.
I mean,
but
I liked it because it set up for Fee to, it. If you look at it, it all did set up for Tech leaving, for Tech dying. My main thing that we've seen it. It's happened. It happened in Clone Wars with Echo. Echo died at the fall of the Citadel. He died. Oh wait, no, Echo's actually still alive.
And now he's just half robot.
And now, yeah, he's half robot, but
he's a cyborg.
Now we're seeing it again with Tech. Tech's dead. Oh, well, 3 episodes in next season, Tech's going to be alive.
And Tech comes back all built and shit, and he's smart as hell. He's like, they combined all the fucking clone shit together. They put Hunter's genes in him. They put Wrecker's genes in him. He comes up back all buff and smart.
I'm so sick. I'm so sick of this fake dying. Oh my god.
Me too.
It's
and I laughed.
It's like a key component of Star Wars now.
So lazy.
I laughed.
It's a key component of Star Wars now. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Tori. I laughed so hard when Wrecker came on screen and he's got the neck brace on. I was like, Wrecker doesn't have a neck to break.
I thought that was like a shot collar or something that they were going to zap him with.
On, like, he broke his neck.
Dog things that you put on a dog.
Oh, the code of shame. No, he broke his neck, but he has so little of a neck that he like broke his entire collarbone. Everything, like his shoulders are just broken. So it's just a cast that comes down to his like nipples. Oh my god.
All right. So
Chris said he's basically going to be Stephen Hawkins the next season. Just paralyzed from the fall, but smart as shit still. All right. We got to rate this because we got to get to Mando because Mando has some excellent shit going on in Mando.
All right. And we're ranking the 2 episodes together.
All right. So I'm going to give them together. I'm going to give it an 8. I thought the story plot was pretty good. And like I said, the only thing I didn't like was the pacing and that they left us on that dumbass cliffhanger because I really want to know what's going to happen now. So it took a point off because I was like, that's some fucked up shit to do. Like, you can't do that to fans. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I'll put it as a 7. It was good. It wasn't great. It just because it's a season finale, right? And a season finale it needs to, like, I don't know, end with a bang. But the sad part is there was no crescendo throughout the season. So the season finale looks like it falls flat because the rest of the season was just so bleh.
Yeah, I can get that.
It's hard to look at it by itself, and because by itself it was good, but it as a season finale still seemed bleh because the rest of the season was just so bleh. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Chris says 7.5 for 2 episodes, but a 5 for overall season. And I would probably put it about the same. I would say 8 for these last 2 episodes. I enjoyed the episodes. They were exciting. But the overall season, I'm going to say 5, 6, somewhere right in there. I'd probably give it a 6. I enjoyed it. They had some fun episodes that just they were just kind of them one-off. They were fun, but they just wasn't meaningful for an entire season.
Once Tori gives me hers, and then CJ. But yeah, Tori, what was yours?
So I'm gonna copy Kyle here because my number was in my head even before Kyle said it. But it's along the same lines, except he doesn't like it because of the cliffhanger. I don't like it because it was tech. So I'm gonna go a solid 8. I really liked them. Okay. The first one was a little bit slow. However, I hate it when shows do like the season finale and leave it on a cliffhanger, because I know that Disney's not going to do this with Bad Batch because there's way too many people invested into it and you're going to have an uproar and people storming Disney corporate. However, I have seen way too many shows end on a cliffhanger and then not get renewed for the next season. And so that's I just have a thing against shows ending in season finales on a cliffhanger anyway.
Well, the thing about it, when you really look at the season in a whole.
So, well, that makes, I mean, average-wise.
The season in a whole was technically, I don't even consider it a season. Because a season is something that is linear. And these episodes weren't linear. They were just random episodes put together. There was only like 5 or 6 episodes out of the 10 episodes or a 16 episode season that was actually like kind of fit together. The rest of them were just random shows. So like if you base them off of the 6 that actually fit together, they were great. But then the rest of it kind of made it so it's really hard to judge it as a season because it really wasn't a season. It was more like, and I said this in a previous episode, it was more like watching Scooby-Doo or, you know what I'm saying, like the, Roadrunner episodes or, the Looney Tunes or something. It wasn't really a season. When you think about a season of something, you're thinking about something more like a soap opera. Something that it falls right into place, one right after another one.
Like consecutive story.
And it really didn't have that.
Continuous.
So that's why the season to me was like,
right.
If you added those 6 that actually went together to make the season, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I give it a 9. But since they had all them random just episodes in there, like 4 or 5.
If we were to average it, overall, if we average all the scores I gave to every episode, I would have it at a 5.5. Kyle would have it at a 6.2. CJ is at a 6.9 almost. He's 6.8. CJ loved it, and then Tori has it at a 6.6. And
I don't even think, judging it now that the season is over, I wouldn't even judge it that high. I'm more at like a 4.55. Maybe a 5.5. I'd go high enough for a 5.5 because I really did enjoy the episodes that came.
I'm happy where I have it. I have it at a 5.
But I don't think I would go.
Not accurate.
Yeah, we talked about Saw Gerrera in there. Saw Gerrera messing up the whole plan, and it was basically.
He's the reason we can't have nice things. It's fine.
Yeah, because
I'm not like his mission kind of makes sense though. I was like, no, I mean. He's not wrong. I get it.
He's not, but also at the same point, like he's not wrong mainly because he probably didn't know that there were clones getting kidnapped.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing that he didn't know that, and I think one of the other things that I didn't like, and I think Chris or somebody brought it up in the chat earlier, is that one stormtrooper was like literally like 5 feet away from Hunter and missed.
Yes.
Like, dude, how do you miss with all you got to do is shoot in a general direction and you should be able to hit somebody from 5 feet away. Like, dude, you guys are like.
Well, but I mean,
especially because not like some of them are still the clones and the clones had good aim. So why all of a sudden?
And I like the fact, this was another thing that I really liked the fact that they actually shot people. Everybody, they wasn't just stunning people.
Oh, I know.
They actually were shooting the people. Like they were shooting people and killing them. Like I was like, yes, finally they are shooting people.
Got all fucking season with fucking stuns on.
They actually shot, and if you go back and you watch, they was even stunning the stormtroopers. And the stormtroopers, they were still stunning the stormtroopers. They were shooting everybody this time. The only people that they stunned was the guards, or the little people in the control tower. When they had to go into the control room to to figure out which ship was his. That's the only time they stunned anybody. Everybody else, they just shot him. And I was like, about damn time they just shoot people, because I'm so tired of y'all just stunning people and they just gonna wake up in an hour and try to kill you. You know what I'm saying?
But on another note, with the Saw Gerrera thing, honestly, I'm kind of more on Saw Gerrera's side. Like, he was on a more like well thought out mission than the Bad Batch was. The Bad Batch was purely for selfish reasons to rescue. You know what I mean? Like, that was it.
To rescue the clones and Hunter.
Yeah.
Saw Gerrera
This
went
guy,
in there to
he's
kill the bad
he's
guys.
killing like major leaders, and like he would even kill that main scientist guy. Saw Gerrera's fighting a war. These guys are being selfish, just trying to get their friends out. Not gonna
Chris
lie.
says he rated it at an 8.7. Would have been. I mean, I'm sorry. Star Wars team leader said 8.7 would have been a 9 if they didn't give us the finger with the cliffhanger. We got, yes, I agree.
And
the cliffhanger
Saw
just was
Gerrera
terrible.
was a little fan servicey too.
Yeah. 100%.
Chris says, Amanda is the final arc put into the middle of the season, and they built off of this. The show would have been exponentially better in linear. I definitely agree with that. If they would have just put like all the 6 in right in the middle and then built off of the end of that shit would have been an amazing season. Just the random filler episodes just didn't really make any sense. They were like, couldn't even, like, it was kind of bad. Last 2 episodes, Clint said was 8 overall. He thinks a 5.5. Chris says Saw was just so random and a little fan service.
Yeah.
Like, he had nothing to actually do with the season as a whole, but they let us just throw him in at the end to fuck shit up. But I can see it coming in, because how many times has Saul fuck shit up during, you know what I'm saying, the things that happen just because that's what Saul does. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's kind of what Saul is there for, to just kind of like throw a monkey wrench and everything, because he's doing his own shit and he ain't like part of the whole little thing. Okay, now on to the elephant in the room. And I know somebody already brought this up in the chat, but Zeb in The Mandalorian was my shit. That I was so excited to see Zeb in The Mandalorian that it, like, I was so happy. Like, the rest of I mean, I like the episode. I won't put the episode down. I like the episode. It was way more exciting. It had an actual storyline. It didn't feel so much like a filler episode. It had good pacing. The music was right on. A couple times the shots was off.
Oh, there was some flaws, but
there were several shots that was like you heard the blaster, and then like 3 seconds later the actual shot, one of the ships blew up like 4 seconds before it blew up. You know what I'm saying? When they were fighting in the air, there was some things wrong with the editing. But Zeb being there, the Mandalorian action, Mando was just whooping the shit out of them. I like the fact that the armor's coming around. You know what I'm saying? With the whole, you got to keep your mask on. She was like, nah, we need to bring we need to bring Mandalorian together. I kind of like that, that she looked at the whole thing and she's starting to view things different.
I would bet you $5 that Bo-Katan went and grabbed her by the throat and like threw up against a wall and was like, "You know nothing of Mandalore."
Nah, I don't think.
Behind the scenes.
I think the armor is just, she's smart. She is very smart, and I like the way she whooped them fools' asses in the damn thing with just them hammers and that pincher thing. She was beating their ass. She didn't even use a blaster, and I was like, the armor is dope.
Well, we saw that back with when. Season 1, when the fucking people came in and she was just beating the shit out of them.
The armor is dope.
She's badass.
I was kind of thinking that she was gonna take her mask off, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I kind of wish she would.
It's okay. Look,
why? Like, you made such a big deal. You literally just made the entire first half of what we've gone so far. You made episode 1 and 2 useless.
Well,
because you were being such a bitch about it, and now all of a sudden, it's not that big of a deal.
I know you have the dark saber. I know what the dark saber means, but you're no longer a Mandalorian, and you need to go bathe in the waters of Mandalore.
But
I literally have the dark saber. You're not a Mandalorian.
Like, I really think that I like the progression, the way that she's coming around and realizing the only way that they're going to be able to reunite Mandalore is to go get the other Mandalorians. That, you know what I'm saying, that they take off their helmets and bring them all together in order to be able to bring Mandalore. Her thing is about bringing Mandalore together. I think she's the dogmatic ways that she has been on. She's thinking we're not going to be Mandalore. We're not going to be united. And Din is not going to be able to lead us because he has a Darksaber. So technically he's the leader of Mandalore. So he's not going to be able to lead everybody if we don't come together and say, all right, it's not about who wears their helmet and who follows the old rules and all this stuff. If we don't all come together and work together as Mandalorians, because she got to get what's her face, the people that she was working with in season 2, because we already know they released the keychains by accident that has them in there. So we know that they got it. So they got to lead up to that point. And if she shows up like, hey, man, you can't take your helmets on, they're going to be like, bitch, you the one that told us that we could take our helmets off, you crazy bitch. So I think the armorer knows that. Like, we need to bring Mandalorians together. I think she's becoming wiser to the situation. Now, is she going to take her helmet off, or is she going to try to get all the other Mandalorians to commit to the new thing? Because we know at some point that this is the way. You know what I'm saying? That their whole motto was about wearing the helmet, but I think she's looking beyond it. And now that they know that they can go and all bathe in the pools of Mandalore, you know, and be redeemed, I think that she's more or less like, all right, we'll get them all here. We get them bathed. Everybody wears their helmets. This is the new creed. You know what I'm saying? Din is going to be the one because he's the Mandalore at this point because he has the Darksaber. I think she knows that. I think she's just wise.
Obviously, it's not. I don't think it's going to be Din Djarin. It's going to be Bo.
You think Bo could? I don't know, because you got to think
the way
about
she was talking to her, she was like, "You're going to be the one to unite the clans." Like,
yeah, but I think that when it comes down to
it's gonna be Star Wars version of the MCU. It's going to be.
I still don't think that Din has the Darksaber. I'm on the thing of, hey, that little
But it didn't beat
cyborg-looking
him
dude.
in combat. It captured him and then took the thing and then took the Darksaber. He didn't beat him in
that's
combat.
still a combat. He still was.
He was just
captured.
walking and the damn trap caught him. The dude wasn't even there. That's not. You have to win it in combat. And that thing didn't win it in combat. It captured him and then took his weapons. And then threw him on the ground. And then when she came in, she seen it. And she grabbed it. There's a reason that we're talking. Okay, you got to think about it as a writer or as a creative person. You take somebody like Dave and John. Their whole character is about the Mandalorian. That's the character. The whole thing is based off of him and Grogu. So, and Grogu was still too young for anything to really be happening with Grogu overall. Grogu's more of that cute character that everybody's like, oh, and makes you want to go see what's happening with Grogu. It's a drawing point. But the story is based off of Mandalorian. So I see the Mandalorian, the reason he got the Darksaber and the reason that she sent Bo-Katan out, because Bo-Katan, everybody knows Bo-Katan. So when Bo-Katan comes back with all the other Mandalorians, then they all know Mando is basically the Mandalorian, or he's the new Mandalore, and then they all follow him. I think that's how it's going to come. We already know season 4 is written.
I don't know.
So unless somebody beats him in combat, which I don't think it would. I think Bo-Katan could really beat him in combat. I think the armorer could beat him in combat. I think there's a lot of people that could probably beat Din in combat. But I just don't think that there's...
They're neutering him, man.
I just don't... that's the main character. And I don't think they're going to take away his position as the main character. Because if somebody else becomes the Mandalore, then he's not the main character no more. Then they have to focus on whoever the Mandalore is. Because everybody has to follow the Mandalore's order. I think just till now, she hadn't realized how important him having the Darksaber is. And I think it's all coming to her, and everything that's happening is coming to her because of the whole situation. It's basically they got a new home because of the Mando. He's the one that said, hey, let's go help out. He's the one that said this. He's the one that put Bo-Katan in charge of the raid and dropping the Mandalorians. He's the one that's really making all the calls. You know what I'm saying? They're voting on things, but in all reality, he's the one that's making the calls because he's the one that's bringing up the situations. So I think that that's what it's going to boil down to. Now they got a home too. They can get everybody come. Ain't nobody going to really fuck with that planet with a damn planet full of Mandalorians. You know what I'm saying? And I think she knows that. For the planet to be secure, they need all the Mandalorians there. And then, like she said, we need to take back over Mandalore. Well, ain't nothing there to take over, but I think that that's what they do. They join everybody there, and then they go back to Mandalore, and they start, whatever they're gonna do to make Mandalore their home again. And then of course they'll have like they're already set up an offset base on that planet in order to have Mandalorians there to protect that planet. This is all based on the Mandalorian culture. The Mandalorians is going to be the one to come in, and I think the Mandalorians that's how it's going to explain when the First Order come back. It's going to be the Mandalorians that are the ones that are fighting the battle for the New Republic, because everything that we've seen about the New Republic is just bullshit. Like, dude, you guys suck.
It's so stupid.
It's like basically y'all just the empire that just weak.
But the thing is, it's like not even like I don't get me wrong. I understand like incompetent government, like how they're trying to go that route, but like this is like stupidly incompetent. Like this is unrealistically bad. Like what the fuck?
Like, dude, why were y'all flying him somewhere else if y'all had already brought him to Coruscant? Like, why were you taking what's his face somewhere else for him to escape? If you already took him back to Coruscant. They already said it in a previous episode that they took him back to Coruscant. Then they were flying him somewhere else. Why were you flying him somewhere else? Like, that don't make no damn sense.
So Chris did touch on that. He says could be some of those could be were loyal to the Empire, like in Rebels 2. I think he was talking about this part.
Well, and see, that's another thing that kind of got me too, because they left us on a cliffhanger with that one with the Beskar armor. Now the New Republic thinks that the Mandalorians are the one to do it, and they're like, dude, why the hell would we let this dude out? You know what I'm saying? Din is the one that captured him in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to cause conflict between the New Republic and the Mandalorians. Now the Mandalorians got to explain what's going on. You know, Luke's about to pop back up because he's their head soldier dude, because he's going to have to pop up. So we're going to get Luke before the end of the season. He's going to pop back up. We're going to have, why can't I think of this dude's name? Who's the bad guy?
Moff Gideon?
Yeah, Moff Gideon. I couldn't think of it. Moff Gideon's going to come. He's going to have maybe some other Mandalorians. They're going to join up with the Mandalorians because they're going to be like, dude, y'all lost. They're here. You know what I'm saying? Or something in that general sense. I just have a feeling that's where they're going. It just feels
really messy and like
Kyle,
makes no sense to me so far.
I'm surprised you didn't talk about the voice being off.
Oh, with the pirate?
Guy in this,
Oh, it was agonising.
Like I said, it was like the music was on par. The music was on par. Sound effects, voiceover, stuff like that. Yeah, there was a lot of offness about that.
Awful.
Yeah, there was whoever was editing this. You know, and you got to think about it. John was too busy playing his Mandalorian part to, you know, for them to just whoever was doing the editing made a lot of it. A lot of bad. A lot of bad things happened within this episode. This was probably the worst episode of Mandalorian that I've seen yet when it came to special effects not happening. Like, you hear the shot, you hear the explosion, and then the explosion don't come for 4 seconds. Like, what do you think? Like, I was literally like, what? I thought something already blew up. Like, it's just now blowing up. Chris is, let's go through the chat right quick. Really thought she was going to screw her, having her take her helmet off. I kind of thought that too. I kind of got a little perverted thought, like they're about to make out.
Oh, what?
They're about to make. They're about
to make out. Jeez.
That I kind of thought that too. I was like, dude, they're about to make out. It's gonna now. They got to put that into the Mandalorian, since they had people, you know, doing it, not really seeing them doing it, but doing it in Andor. They got to bring it into Mandalorian because everybody loved it in Andor.
So I also saw a meme that was going around. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was talking about how Grogu gets the brand new shiny Beskar and all of that, and then you see it, and then it pans to another picture of the other younglings, and they're in like cardboard,
Yeah, dude.
the hand-me-down armors. Or
Dude,
like,
did you see that one? There was one of the Mandalorians that didn't
that
even have the
literally
back
had
of his helmet.
Yeah.
I
The back of his
know.
whole helmet was missing. Like, what the hell?
And then there was the other one that was just a cardboard head.
Yeah, I was like, dude, y'all, all the billions of dollars y'all are making, y'all can't do better on costuming. Yeah, there was some bad things with the episode overall. I liked. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I gotta say the same thing. The same thing that we said about the season of Bad Batch. I'm kind of starting to feel the same way about this season of Mando. It just feels lazy, dude.
I think that they're just, and I think that's something that Bob, when Bob did that interview and he said that they're gonna take more time, because I think he's seeing that too. It just, everything seems really rushed. It seems like they dropped too much and put too much out, and had too many people doing too many different things, and it caused everything to feel rushed. It doesn't feel like the episode was good. I liked the storyline, but this was only like a 40-minute episode, and they tried to pack so much into this episode that you kind of got lost in what was going on. But the storyline was good. It seemed like it should have been like a 2-part thing instead of trying to shove everything into this one thing. It just made it seem forced. I think that's what we're getting a lot out of just within Star Wars period. Everything seems forced. It's like they're just trying to force you to like stuff instead of just let the story tell the story. Chris says, dude, I hate that she did that. Star Wars has had a bad habit of doing complete 180s on characters. First was Boba, then there was Bo going soft. Now the armor basically threw her values out. Lenny says, yeah, I'm in place where I'm liking, why bring the Pirate King in just to kill him off? Like we didn't get much time or reason to even hate this pirate. So the episode didn't feel as authentic.
Pirate was just so dumb. Like,
and the graphics.
And did you notice like every single pirate was dressed like they were colonial era pirates, like in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, that was
like, dude, these guys are in fucking outer space. Why are they still dressed like the 1700s?
Someone needed to shoot
because it's a long
Spy
time
Trader
ago.
Girl in the head. Yeah. I don't like her. I really can't like her. And I don't know, she just looks funny to me. Like, why does she look like that? Like, what? Her eyes, the way she be looking at people, like, what the fuck? Somebody hit that bitch. They should have taken more time to show the conversation between the armor and Bo-Katan and why she wants her to remove her helmet and why she thinks she should now be their glorified recruiter.
Especially when she shit-talked Bo-Katan to everybody who would listen in the first season.
I think that that's what's going to happen in the next episode. I think the next episode is going to be a little bit more explanatory on what's going on. Hopefully, I'm hoping that that's what they do.
Well, it's just like, it's similar to like even the sequels. Like they're going one direction, and all of a sudden they're going another direction, and like it feels like it's the same way, but in Mandalorian.
Lenny agreed. I kind of believe that she was going to take her helmet off too, because it's like, why would you ask somebody to take their helmet off if you ain't willing to do the same thing?
Right.
Probably not Mandalorians, more like Dark Troopers with Beskar armor he had in charge over the Mandalorians. Yeah. Are you trying to say Mandalorians? Because you said Mandalorians. Wait. Weren't the Dark Troopers made out of Beskar? Maybe that's who extracted. I think that they were. They were made because remember, he was shooting at him and the shit was bouncing off. Remember when Din was shooting at him?
Yep.
And then he pulled out the Beskar spear and was fighting him with the Beskar. Skippy, OR5, sold Mando out. He sold them all out.
Yeah.
The similarity between the Bad Batch and Mando are especially with the lack of a main plot late in the season. Yeah, because it really isn't like only thing like the
It just
plot.
feels so lazy.
I mean,
Hang
I know
on
what
a
the plot
second.
is. The plot is about, and I kind of got this after like the second episode. The plot of the season is bringing Mandalorians together.
Yeah.
Now, the idea of bringing all the Mandalorians together, getting the Mandalorians together, but for what? What is the major purpose of getting all the Mandalorians together? You know, what is it? Because, like, the plot would be good if there was, like, the Mandalore was, like, took over by the Empire still or remnants of the Empire, and then they were going to Mandalorian to fight to recapture the planet. But Mandalore is dead, so it's like the whole planet is just jacked up. So it's like, dude, what? If that's what your guys are going to do, it's like, that's not going to be that hard. They also look like Ravishers from Guardians of the Galaxy. they kind of
yeah.
Okay, regarding R5 being R5, we were warned he had a bad motivator, guys. He had a bad motivator. We were warned.
Yeah. I want to know who
We
rebuilt
can't be
him.
surprised.
I want to know who rebuilt him. Because remember, his
Made him
motivator
better.
blows up in New Hope.
Jawas.
So somebody had to rebuild him. So they got a lot of crucial evidence and things because this dude's been around forever. Okay. Tori got to go deal with the kids, so let's get to the rating because Garrison has to get off here. He got some studying that he got to do. He got some finals coming up.
No, not finals. It's just a project. Most of my classes are projects now. Not so many tests, more just big projects that we got to do for marketing.
All right, so
I wish I had finals. I love tests. Tests are way better than projects.
Lenny says Pelly probably. Yeah, Pelly might have rebuilt him. Okay, I'm going to give the episode a 7. I like the storyline. I like the way that it went. There was some things, like I said, that I took a point off for all the mistakes that they made in editing. I took a point off because they, the whole taking the helmet off thing, even though I understand why, I think I understand why the armor is doing it. It's like, why make three seasons of the whole thing about this you can't take your helmet off and then have somebody take their helmet off. It kind of didn't. Like when Din did it.
Makes no sense.
When Din did it, it was because Grogu was about to leave. You know what I'm saying? It was a heartfelt moment. It made sense. For her to do it, just didn't. It kind of didn't. Like, why she need to take her helmet off? She could just go pick these people up and never even say anything. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. And then I took a point off because they brought Zeb in and they didn't give him enough time. They did not give Zeb enough time. That quick little moment with Zeb, like, dude, this is a main character of Rebels. He should have had more time, more screen time. Hopefully he shows up more.
Like if you're gonna fan service, like might as well
Well,
I don't know.
and my thing is this, I don't know if Zeb is too much of a fan service. Zeb didn't have a giant following of people or anything like that. Zeb was just a character. He was cool. He was funny. You know
but Zeb is also
really,
he's the most recognizable character of Rebels.
I honestly thought that it would have been like, we've said it. We've all said that we thought it was going to be Sabine or Hera. Nobody ever said Zeb. Like, nobody ever said, oh, they're going to bring Zeb in. We know they're going to bring in somebody from Rebels. Who's it going to be? Nobody ever said it was going to be Zeb. Everybody thought it was going to be, a Hera or Sabine. Even in Andor, when we think about in Andor, who they going to bring in?
You don't have to. He's easily recognizable, strictly looking at his species.
Yeah.
But you got to look at it too.
You don't have to worry about the casting of all right, which character is going to be. You know what I mean? It was an easy, quick.
Rebels is probably the least watched animated series in. A lot of people don't even know that Rebels exists.
I don't know. Resistance.
Yeah.
Resistance. I think more people watch Resistance than they did. I don't know why, because it sucked.
Than Rebels?
Than Rebels. Rebels, I've talked to Star Wars fans all
that
the
Rebels
time.
Existed.
I've talked to a lot of people about Star Wars, and most people I talk to, they'll know about Resistance before they know about Rebels. they promoted Resistance better than they did Rebels. Rebels didn't get a lot of promotion. You know what I'm saying? It just never did. It never was like this
That's
big
true.
thing that had to
So-
do with Rebels.
Lenny says, I'm hoping we get more Zeb. They seem like that they were trying to
Avatar.
out the avatar of Zeb and to see people's reactions to him, like testing the waters for a Hera series. Maybe?
I mean, like I said, I liked everything except those three things. Zeb is, but that's just me being a big Rebels fan. I'm a huge Rebels fan. I loved Rebels. Rebels is probably my favorite. I'm not even gonna say probably. It is my favorite animated series. So I was excited about seeing Zeb. I just think that they should have gave him more screen time. And the joke that he said when they were sitting there talking, the little jokey part wasn't really that funny. And Zeb was always pretty funny on the things that he said. So I was kind of like, but you also
Lazy.
got to believe that he is also older at this point. So
Oh, so he's not as funny? What?
yeah, he just wasn't as funny. Like
He got less funny with age.
What?
All right. What was your ranking, Tori?
8.
8. Okay. And then I put it as a 6. Same reasons that I guess same reasons that Kyle kind of put it. I thought the pirate was lazy. The flip flops they're doing is still like the episodes just seem to be contradicting each other. The action, like I was glad to finally see some Mandalorian action, but when it got down to it, it was kind of disappointing. Like wasn't very well choreographed. Felt just kind of slow, boring. I don't know. It just feels like a letdown so far.
Well,
And I just don't know what's going on with Mando.
I actually, and I've been trying to do this more when it comes to everything. I have to view it in the form of even George made shit that was a little bit like it was contradictory of each other. Like what why? That's what left the plot holes. Like why did this happen? What like and they're trying to do. Disney is trying to do to emulate that type of style that George did. And they're trying to leave loopholes and they're trying to leave things to cause us to think about what's going on and to try to give our own theories and stuff off of the things that are happening. And I've been putting down the writers and stuff for doing that. But I'm like, George did it. So why would I not put down George?
George did it a lot better than they are then.
Why would I put down them and not put down George for doing the exact same thing? Why would I rate the stuff that George did higher than what they're doing and they're doing the exact same thing? We just don't, when it comes to a movie, we have the movie and then you had a long distance or, a couple years in between, you know what I'm saying, the things that George was doing. So it gave you a lot more time to analyze it. When you're looking at it in a form of things that are coming out weekly, and these plot holes are happening and things that are not, you know what I'm saying, not up to what we think is the standard. We're not reflecting back that George did the same thing. It just was a longer period of time before he did it. Before we got that next part that never filled in that plot hole, but at the same time gave us something new. We're getting something new almost, we're getting something new right the next week. So then it's more noticeable. And I think that that's one of the problems that I've been kind of tough on stuff. And then I've been being kind of tough because I know that they're emulating this and they're not doing it, like you said, they're not doing as good of a job, but they're not George. So I'm like, dude, I can't be so harsh on something. I can't expect perfection out of every single thing because George wasn't even perfect. There was so many mistakes. There was in all the Star Wars films that he did. So many mistakes that happened, but we're criticizing the shit out of the stuff that Disney's doing, but we didn't criticize the stuff that George did, and it was the same typical shit. So it's like, dude, I got to stop doing that. I can't be so overly critical on stuff because it's not going to be perfect. There's no perfect movie. There's no perfect TV show. Ain't nothing perfect. We've said that multiple times. There's nothing perfect, but at the same time, we criticize some of the things that is we expect them to be perfect, and it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be mistakes, but some of that shit just drives me nuts. Like the fucking editing, like, dude, you're fucking 4 seconds. Like, I can understand 1 second, 4 seconds. The dude's mouth doesn't even match with what he's saying. Like, dude, what the fuck is going? Like, no, that's
based off of our averages and how we've ranked this so far. We ranked Andor a lot higher.
Yeah.
So far.
And Andor wasn't perfect. Andor had a lot of fucking mistakes in it. There was a gang of mistakes. But nobody made worse mistakes than Kenobi. Like, Kenobi was like, if you're looking at like overall, like the production and everything.
Kenobi was the worst. I'd agree.
Boba Fett was better in production wise and editing and shit than Kenobi was. Kenobi was freaking terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the hell edited this shit? A third grader? You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that was like trying to just hurry up and get it done. Cause
overall, I don't know. Boba Fett was still worse than Kenobi, but editing wise, yeah.
Editing wise, Kenobi was way worse than Boba Fett. Boba Fett was just overall as a show was not as good as Kenobi. But and that's another thing. The more that I watched them, the better they seem to get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the first time I watched it, like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, but then I watch it again. By the third time I watched it, like, this it's not really that bad. I think I over criticized a lot of this shit. Like, the one thing I can't get over is Kenobi and the camera shake. That shit was just fucking retarded. Like, this dude got fucking Tourette's or something. He got Parkinson's. You got a guy with Parkinson's over here doing the filming.
Tourette's.
Like, dude, the fucking camera doesn't stop shaking the whole damn fucking thing. Like, dude, this is terrible.
I think Chris makes a good point. At the same time, Mandalorian is the. I mean, I disagree with it being the gold standard for Star Wars, but just based off those first 2 seasons, it's being a disappointment. This third season is a disappointment in comparison to those first 2. We saw the first 2 and they were great.
Because the episodes have been good. The problem is we're trying to compare season 3 with what was going on. The first 2 seasons were linear and they had like a goal. The goal was to find Grogu's people, find a Jedi, find somebody to take Grogu. You know, the first 2, there was a plot behind it. The problem now is, like, we don't know what the plot is because they haven't described the plot to us. Like, what is going on? Like, we know that the Mandalorians are trying to take over Mandalore, but why? Why would you even want to take back your planet? Your planet is garbage now. So it's like, when you have a plot that is pointless, it kind of like, why are you even working towards this? And that's the feeling I'm getting. Like, why are you trying to work to get back to this garbage planet? They destroyed the planet. The planet looks like shit. You know, you got fucking furry fucking animal creatures trying to kill you. You got some robotic dude that's, you know what I'm saying, capturing people. You got a mythosaur that's in hiding. He didn't even come out when they was destroying the planet to help save the planet. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's just a lot of things that are going on that's just kind of pointless. Like, what are you leading up to? Because if you really look at it, if you look at the episodes, everything is happening for a reason, but what is the reason? Like, we don't know what the reason is. Like, you haven't gave us any hints to know what the reason is. In the trailer, we knew that they was going back to Mandalore. We knew that in the trailer. We didn't even need the season, but we needed to get there. And that's kind of what was bad. But overall, like, so far what I've seen in the season, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know where it's going. Like, you're not really giving us a plot. You're not giving us you're leading us somewhere, but we don't know where you're leading us to. Like, where are you leading us? Everything else, we knew what the end game was. We knew, you know, through the movies, you know, the first 3 movies, it went to, you know, Anakin becoming Darth Vader and the start of the Empire. We knew in A New Hope going to, you know what I'm saying, Return of the Jedi, we knew it was about the Jedi conquering the Empire, or Luke being the only Jedi and then conquering the Empire. We knew where it was leading to. Andor, we know it's leading to Rogue One. We know that these things are leading to something. This just does. We knew in The Mandalorian that it was leading to him finding somebody to help Grogu, a Jedi or his people or whatever. We knew what the plot was. We knew where it was going. We just don't know where this is going. The episodes have not been really that bad. It's just we have no idea where they're headed. Like, what are you doing? And to give us Mandalore, knowing that they're going to Mandalore, it's kind of pointless because we look at Mandalore like, this is garbage. Why would you want to come back to this planet? Go find you a new planet. Like, this planet's fucked up. And that's kind of what it is. So, everybody, we going to have to get off here. Garrison got to go study. We already went over longer than we were supposed to.
I'm sorry.
So, we will see you guys Saturday. Well, me and Garrison, Will, Tori, and CJ, they're going to be at Comic-Con Boise. Shooting out for
we'll
Lightsaber
see you
Radio.
Saturday if you're down there.
Yeah, if you're down there. So anybody that's in the area, go check out CJ and Tori from Lightsaber Radio. I wish we had some damn Lightsaber Radio shirt. I got the guy working on it, but I don't know. I just can't find nobody that's good that's gonna take care of shit.
My mom has my adopted mom has a sublimation printer, and I was gonna have her make me and CJ a couple shirts.
Oh, that'd be dope. And then you can wear them down there. But we will see you guys Saturday. Stay outrageous, and may the Force be with you.
Make good choices.
Always.
Tori got it in.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. Lightsaber Radio is produced by Pickfilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.